Hello, ladies, gents, and supple contortionists watching this upside down with their head between their legs. We continue our, for some reason, speedruns. I don't really, you know what? I'm going to let you in on a very, very secret, as opposed to the normal secrets, which are only halfway secret. This is an extremely secret that, wow, that I have not ever divulged, and I don't ever want anybody to know, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. Are you ready? Are you ready for the most secret you have ever listened to in the most secret recesses of the secret mind? I freaking hate doing custom levels. I don't wanna do custom levels. I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of doing custom levels. You never know how long they're gonna be. You never know how good they're gonna be. You never know whether I'm going to be terrible. A jetpack. About time. The entire session of speedruns that I just got done doing, 0 jetpacks. You never know if they're going to be any good. You never know if they're going to be good, but you're going to be bad, and you're going to be absolutely atrocious finding solutions, and then you get butt blasted in the comments. So it's like, it's too much stress. I can't handle it. Oh yeah, get through there. It's just, that summarizes my entire experience with custom levels these days. Don't get me wrong, I had a great time for a long time, but I somehow managed to make it through that. Let's just not question what just happened and simply accept that I was the greatest of all time, the greatest Spelunker of all time. Oh boy. Man, chose the wrong way to go. You know what? We are grabbing those bombs, and then we're going to go all the way down here and gain absolutely nothing. That was a massive waste of everybody's time, and now we are circled by crazy people. Hate is a very strong word. Hate is a very strong word. Let me rephrase that. I don't hate doing custom levels. It's just, it takes a very specific frame of mind. I'm not into it. I'm not into that frame of mind right now. I don't want to be into that frame of mind. Oh my goodness, I can't get through this. Oh boy, making it through the jetpack, man, makes a massive difference on whether you are mildly successful or not. Unfortunately, no. It's this nonsense pit full of a menagerie of creatures, all lusting for my blood. They were overtook with hunger, and I did not have enough body parts to distribute among them. It was awful, and I don't endorse. Why? What? The hell was that point of damage? I had my whip out. I had whipped it out. I was in doubt. I whipped it out, and it should have murdered that bat, but no, it touched me in the face. So yeah, that's my deeply held secret that I didn't want you to know, and now you know. I want to do custom levels. It's not a fun experience anymore. I'm sick of it. Okay? Let's just leave it for when Spelunky 2 hits. Inevitably, hopefully, there will be a Frozelunky for it, and we will all have a great time. All in the novelty. I'm done. Okay, I'll take this, and I'll be happy about it. Yeah. Careful with any kind of spikes. I was exceedingly gregarious and chatty in the last stream of speedruns. So maybe not do so much of that and do a little bit more of being good at the game, he said while taking an arrow straight to the face. But to my defense, it was in a pretty damn good positioning to wreck my anus. It was really damn great planning by Spelunky to put that arrow trap there. It was one of the few places where it indeed... Ooh, hello. It indeed... I had very few chances of not triggering it, so impressed. I'm very impressed. You know what? I really don't care about going to the black market anymore. I really have an easy time murdering people. Oh, except when that happens. I thought they were all dead. So I was already moving on my life, picking up my pickaxe and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, that scumbag used a human shield like the terrible person that he is, with zero scruples, grabbed the slave by the neck, shoved her right in front of the line of fire, did not give a damn as the flesh of his slave got torn to pieces by my shots. Oh man, you deserve such a harsh death. I can't even explain to you how rough you deserve to be manhandled by my violence. But I had some priorities. I had things in my hands. I just simply bypassed the shopkeeper death. Let's just say that I don't have things to talk about. Boy, do I have things to talk about. Especially that I'm shutting down my Patreon video. There were, like, it was overwhelmingly positive, the reaction. There was, I think, 7 or 8 people. And I've been debating, do I even want to address the nonsensical arguments they got? There was actually one argument that's like, yeah, I can see your point, you're wrong. But I can see why you would think this. I think that a clarification of me will have us agree on it. But there were some that was just, I felt like they were parody comments. They were so egregiously dumb. But I was like, do I want to even address it? It's like, you engage with this kind of stuff and you blow it out of proportion. It's much, much better. Ow, I just bumped into the back of my head by a boomerang. That's the description of the things that just happened. I have nothing to add. That was not a transformative comment. It's just a narration of what happened on screen. You can count on me to point at the things that happen on screen and spell them out loud. Quality commentary. So, I think that's going to be my policy. Ooh, bombs. A lot of explosives, friendo. Let me just obliterate you. Obliterate you and everything you love. Which is all the bombs that I just stole from you. I didn't have you witness the theft. That is a blunder on my part. I should have made sure that it was as cruel as possible. Trying so hard to get back to that key, which is kind of dumb because I am bypassing this entire spider area. You might as well get this. Some ropes to kind of have to piss off this guy. Maybe throw a few bombs into his face. How? How? This spider is really chasing me down and... Filthy. Damn spiders. I think I could have made it. I mean, why not? Why not go for that? Sweet, sweet jizz. 41 seconds! That's a little too much, but we did get the Ujjarai as a result, so not that much of an investment. Definitely is going to be my policy when like engaging with the comments, and not because I think it's pointless, not because I think it's like we couldn't reach an understanding after a long time of talking. It's because the reward to investment ratio is so abysmal. Like, the best thing that can possibly happen is that after going back and forth, we reach a mutual understanding in which I am right. And that's like the best outcome. Most likely or not, it's going to be a completely pointless back and forth in which none of us change each other's mind. I'm very disappointed in this entire situation. Probably should have used explosives to get rid of these people. Whoop. That was a weird angle on that, but ooh, hello. You know what? You know what? I'm going to exercise some restraint and not go for that teleporter. You go for the pickaxe instead. Yeah, not because I think it's dumb, not because I don't respect discourse. It's because it's a huge waste of time. Huge waste of time compared to the reward that I might get at the end of it. You understand? Writing out these really well thought out comments and arguments, it takes a long ass time, man. Have you ever gone? I'm sure you have, because we are all in the internet. We have all gone into dumbass internet arguments. It takes forever. It takes forever to get through those arguments, and you're getting super invested, and you're just talking and just typing out furiously. Or not furiously, but like maybe scoffing like. Oh boy! Get smocked. Get smocked. Somehow managed to avoid lethal Damage, not so much. Not so much all the damage that was coming my way, but hey, lethal damage did not happen. Unfortunately, did not get to go to hell, which was like the time investment that I had. That's why I try so damn hard to get the Jedi and all that. There's the exit. Off you go. Through that exit. So yeah, I am recognizing it as a time investment that I can do without. So that's why if you post something that is clearly confrontational in the comments, I'm not going to reply to you, not because I don't appreciate the value of discourse, but because it's such a time investment just to maybe change one mind. It's like, what the hell? Why? I can do so much better with my time, especially understanding like something that, of course, this is something that is kind of common knowledge, something that has been discussed quite a lot in the at least in the things that I've listened to. But we treat comments on the internet like it's somebody coming out to our face and being confrontational, and we can't do that. We just can't do that. We have to treat comments on the internet like it's just somebody in Uzbekistan telling me that they don't like my religious beliefs. It's like you have no idea about the background, the life of the people that post comments. Their minds could be so different to yours that they might as well be aliens. So it's like, while there is value in conversation, it is just not worth the time that it takes to get into a verbal confrontation with comments. It's silly. It's a bad investment of your time. So that's why, I'll just let them be in the comment section. They're a tiny minority anyway. Not like I'm saying that, more people agree with me, so you're wrong. All I'm saying is, it's not an overwhelming tide of vexation. It's not an overwhelming. Go away, spider. I'm trying so hard to murder this guy. There we go. That was awful. It's not an overwhelming tide of anger that I have to address. It's just some silly dissenting voices that have been thoroughly misled, I feel. Hello, Mr. Shopkeeper. Your beautiful jetpack. I will patiently wait for you to go F yourself. Jetpack. You know what? I like this build. I have invested in the right stats. Let go of that. that teleported spells nothing but trouble. Give me something much safer, which is this sweet pickaxe. And this jetpack, I'm golden. Too bad, no bomb so far. Have to get in there, fella. There we go. Oh boy. So just, let them be in the comments. Maybe they get rebuffed by other people in the comments. And that is plenty. I need to just let go of that mind space. It is very easy to get kind of obsessive about it, and that's why I'm actually mentioning it, because they stay in your mind, right? Because somebody is questioning the convictions that you have. So you're like, you want to argue against that, and you want to address it, and you want to disabuse these people of their silly notions. Something though that I do want to get into, because it's a very worthy topic to speak of, and at the very least, instead of getting into it in a comment section, I get into it in a video where I actually reach a comparatively large audience. I mean, obviously, this is people are watching my Spelunky videos. It's not a huge audience, but it's definitely better than one person being replied to in the comments. And that is the entire argument, especially with Patreon. Like, oh my goodness. Because with Patreon, it's a different issue altogether. The entire thing of, there are private companies and they can do what they want. It's like, yeah, do you want them to? It's like, what is your argument? What a self-defeated argument to say something like that. Do you want them to do whatever they want? I'm not calling for regulations. I'm not calling for them to be shut down. I'm not saying that what they did is illegal. All I'm saying is that what they did is, in my opinion, for my convictions, unethical, and I'm not going to support them anymore. It's like the whole basis of a customer-based economy. If your customers are dissatisfied, they'll leave you in the dust. It's like, how can you possibly try to rebut my decision by saying they're a private company, they are allowed to do whatever they want? Yeah, I don't want them to, though. I don't want them to do that. I wish they hadn't done it, and I'm not going to support them as a result of what they did. So I don't understand what exactly is your point. I know they didn't do anything illegal, but in my opinion, it was immoral, and I don't want it to happen. So I wish they hadn't done it. It's different, though, when you speak about a social network, about the bannings on Twitter and all the... Okay, I'll take this. The bannings on Twitter and all the deplatforming that happens, because those social networks, they have become the new public square. So I do feel, in my opinion, and there is some legal opinions also that I have listened to that hold a lot of weight, of course, in my perception, I believe it is indeed an infringement of actual legal free speech to ban people from these social networks, because they are almost a monopoly. They're a hegemony. It's like Amazon not letting you buy from their stores for arbitrary political reasons. I feel it's exactly the same as what the social networks are doing, banning people because of political reasons. It's like, you are the public square. There should be freedom of association. There should be freedom of speech in your platform, because this is available to everybody, and everybody at this point should be entitled to their voice, because you are the new version of going to the public square and proclaiming your views and expressing yourself. So there is ground to say, freaking parachute! Let me land. I would say there is some legal wiggle room. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. I have died again. There is some argument to say it is actually illegal for these social networks to be doing what they're doing, to ban people for their political beliefs, no matter how atrocious they are. And believe me, like, that's something I don't understand is like, how can you possibly, like, literally, sincerely be advocating for an ethno-stating in the United States? You're either an idiot or you're a murderer if you sincerely believe there should be an ethno-state in the United States, because it cannot be attained without deporting or murdering a huge swath of the population. The United States is, like, this is the reality. The United States is multicultural. There's nothing you can do about it. Do you want an ethno-state? Go to Scandinavia. Go to Norway. There'll be a lot of pale faces there to please you. And very monotheistic culture right there. Probably that's why they have become so intensely, off into the spikes I go, intensely politically correct in those countries. Extremely neo-fascist liberal kind of thing, which is another thing to get into. But once again, I'm getting into all these topics instead of focusing on the gameplay. Because they know, right? They know that, like, what is it, 95% of their population is exactly the same ethnicity. So they have to make efforts to not appear to be an ethno-state, but that's what they are. I mean, they're not a violent ethno-state. They will not murder anybody that's different. But effectively, they are indeed a state with the same ethnicity. So by definition, I guess if you can define an ethno-state as an ethno-state that actually also is violent about enforcing it. So there is a distinction there. But all I'm saying is that you have to be a complete moron, a completely impractical moron, or a run-of-the-mill murderer, not xenophobic, but genocidal. Okay, I was trying to stomp you, friend, but you decided to commit suicide by throwing yourself into spikes, so I'm done with that. I'm getting to far too serious conversations in here than I was meaning to. I was, in fact, sincerely coming into these speedruns. Let's just do some speedruns and see if we can get to the end. But here I am, talking about ethnostate and legal free speech and all this nonsense. It is frustrating in a way, because this kind of stuff is constantly in our minds, in the public domain. So it's very hard to kind of ignore it, put it in the back burner. Ow. Put it in the back burner and not even talk about it, because especially when doing Spelunky videos or any kind of content in general, I'm just talking out of my ass. I'm talking constantly and trying to fill the dead air. So my mind, as it wanders, it will naturally drift towards these troubling topics of our modern day, you see. So that's why they just come out. I'm not even intending to do it, and they just come out. Because these are things that are troubling to use a modern word, to refer to things that you think about, but you don't really do anything about it. They're just troubling. Oh, there was the Ujedi right there. That was a really easy Ujedi. They're just troubling. This is very troubling rhetoric, and I'm going to do absolutely nothing about it. But then again, what can you do other than just talk some more about it, right? What are you going to do? Go out to the streets and start killing people that don't agree with you? That's kind of a bad thing to do. Go out and find the people that are troubling you and then doing violence against them. That's not a right thing to do. All that you can really do is to speak your mind and try to gain an audience and change minds that way. And that just ties up with the not answering confrontational comments, you know, to an extent. If it's something that requires a response, then of course I will go out of my way to do it. Like, especially if I feel I did do something wrong, I will address it. Oh wow, I almost got eaten once more by a man trap. We haven't pissed off shopkeepers, right? Good stuff. It ties up into that because I could spend some ridiculous amount of time addressing it in a personalized comment. I'd much rather just talk about it. At the very least, it's efficient that way. I just throw a bomb down there, kill the disgusting piranha, get my way to the exit, slowly progressing through these places. And like I've said many times before, we almost got spiked. Worst to live by. Almost got spiked. I want that. My tombstone. Yep, indeed. Oh boy. This is not right. This is not kosher. Let me out of here. I'm just trying to jump through. Why? Why was this Russian water level so atrocious? I said many times before, and then I completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh no. What I was going to say. It's, engagement with comments. I said many times before. I was driving to a point, but it was pretty mild point. It was pretty minor. I do remember that. It was just going on and on, droning on about something I already said. So I guess we'll just bypass it and just keep on going. Oh boy. Rope down here. There we go. So I forget the point that I was trying to make. It doesn't matter. I'm right and you're wrong. That's all that I care about. That's all that I care about. I think I was just getting at that instead of engaging one-on-one, I'll just... Okay, I thought it was the mine that was going to explode. I'll just discuss it. I'll just discuss it while playing video games. Another thing that it was, and I'm like 72% sure that this was a parody comment. Like, it wasn't actually heartfelt. I was like, dude, I don't know if you want to align yourself in Nazis. That's not going to go down as on the right side of history. Like, are you a parody? Is this for real? This comment could not sound more scripted. How conditioned have you been? It just made me sad to think that somebody could hold those beliefs. It's so insane. So insane. Anyway, here we are in the temple, being amazing. That's what my Spelunking's all about. I'm kind of mad about this entire place, though. It's a little difficult to get through this. The purple crap created a massive problem. But hey, we got to the exit, that's all that matters. 1 point of health left. Who needs health anyway? Really don't even need the scepter or nothing. We're just trying to get to the exit here. The exit is coming straight down. Just gotta take care of all these problems. And all those arrows trigger. All right. See, it goes to show I don't even need to concentrate. It all happens. It's all motor. Are you triggered? Yeah, you are triggered. But this mummy triggers me. What a horrible circumstance there. Made it to Olmec. All right. Probably Olmec's gonna kill me though. I don't have ropes to kill the people on top of me. I don't have bombs to speed this up. Not like I could. I am terrible at speeding up Olmec with bombs. So we're just going to try and make it happen in the old-fashioned fast way, which is just doing something like this. And that. I don't think I have a good gap on the other side, so we're just going to stay on this side. Thankfully, no climbing gloves. It's very likely the monsters are going to murder me. But, you know, I'm going to try. Oh, yep, there goes the snail dropping onto my head. That was extremely difficult to avoid. I'm very happy that we got that far. That's nice. It's been a long time since we got to Olmec in a speedrun. Too slow. Just commit suicide, keep on going. You heard it here first, guys. I'm a Nazi. I am a Nazi sympathizer. Oh, I don't even wanna regale that with even a serious discussion, because it's just nonsense. People have been conditioned to constantly parrot off. Like, your sources of information are so skewered that they have completely created this insane narrative inside your head. And it's a tragedy. A tragedy of the commons. I don't even know what that expression means. But it's a tragedy. Oh, there's the chest. Please, I'd like to get to this chest. Don't arrow me, brother. Might as well take this point of health too. Well, that took a little while, but it would be nice to get to the black market. And what am I doing, speedrunners? Well, I got nothing else. Like, every challenge, like, no offense, fellas. Every challenge that has been suggested, it's just really lame. Like, I don't want to do that. It's like, oh, what? Okay. Somehow he got hurt. I think the bomb bounced onto his head, and that gave him immunity to my stump. That's what just happened, possibly. Every challenge that has been suggested, I'm like, yeah, that's lame. I don't want to do it. You know, the self-imposed challenges. Ooh, hello, my good son. Let me steal from you. I really wanted to get the Ujjarai, but I was being chased by a murderous maniac, so I made the executive decision to just flee. I could go in there. Nah, that's not. Wow. I did not even see that the guy was at the exit right there. Did not even see that was the exit, but feels good to have murdered somebody. Completely unrelated topic. My wife's birthday. Well, I guess I could have looked down, but I didn't look down, and I paid dearly for it. My wife's birthday, the day after tomorrow. I'm making her delicious peanut butter chocolate cake. It is my cake. It is the cake that I make every year for her. She looks forward to, she says that is the only thing that she looks forward to in her birthday. To have that cake, even though she can't eat that much cake anymore. She loves that cake, so I've been working on it. It's like a 2-stage process. You gotta make the cake first, then you make the frosting. I mean, you can do it all in one afternoon, but it will take you like 4 hours because it needs to cool down and all that stuff. So all I do is I make the cake one evening, and I let it cool in the fridge for first in the counter, then in the fridge for the whole day, and then the next evening I make the frosting and the glaze, and it's the most delicious cake you can possibly imagine. Like, this is legit great delicious cake. I don't do anything special. I just follow the recipe, and it's you can in fact find it, and holy crap do I recommend it. Following the instructions to the letter will yield a very good cake. I do reduce the amount of powdered sugar that the frosting calls for. It calls for something insane, like 5 cups of powdered sugar. That's way too much sugar. So I do reduce that quite a lot. I thought I had the upper hand in this duel, but the disgusting cobra spit at my feet, stunned me catastrophically. Oh, well, wrong side. These cobras, man, they're after me. It's just Google chocolate peanut butter cake, Smitten Kitchen. That recipe is nice. Super nice. It's super good. I would definitely not make as much sugary frosting as it calls for, though. I usually just, instead of, it says for a 3-layer cake, I only just make two big layers of chocolate, and then I put the frosting in between those 2 layers, and then on top, and on the sides, and then the chocolate cake on top. But it's so delicious, extremely sweet. Not going to help your diet, but holy crap, it is. Like, I'm not much or at all of a baker, but I don't think I've had a better cake, even through professional bakers. I am quite the fan of carrot cake. I'm a super fan of carrot cake. God damn it. And I will try carrot cake anywhere I go that has it available, and I am hungry for it. Like, if I just ate a giant meal, I'm not going to order the carrot cake. But I'm saying, carrot cake is possibly my favorite cake. Even my most favorite is carrot cake is not as good as this chocolate peanut butter cake that I make every year, okay? And I'm not even saying that I'm the greatest at it. I just followed the recipe to the letter, with the exception of that frosting is way too much. But if you do follow it to the letter, it will make a great, delicious cake. All I'm saying is it's way too much. Use less sugar in the frosting. Use more peanut butter to have it be more peanut buttery. How you guys like the whiplash of topics of conversation, from fundamental individual freedoms to this cake is really good. Oh yeah, you appreciate the eclectic nature. The eclectic nature of our content here in Unilateral Ululations. There's a good Jedi right here. I never used the channel name all that often. I really should. I am somewhat proud of it. Unilateral Ululations. The alliteration that also describes the entirety of this content. And it perfectly. Like, this is all unilateral, me yelling into a microphone. Well, for sure that was death. But thankfully I weaved between all these arrow traps. Like they were dildos in the brothel. You thought I was about to get eaten? But no, I whipped it out. And I was successful. And then I got murdered by an assortment of cavemen and frogs. You know, the usual Indiana Jones story, where the frogs jump on his head, the cavemen punch him in the face. It's a terrible experience for everybody, especially him. This is all, Monkey takes a great deal of inspiration from the Indiana Jones movies, including the giant frogs and the caveman with violent tendencies. Please, no more monkeys. I hate monkeys. I'm so sick of these monkeys. I am so sick of these places where I can barely get through. I guess we'll bomb that. You know what? We're also going to put them on there, because it's totally going to be something I want. No, it's the parachute, as usual. This is nonsense. Oh, some jungle configurations are absolutely insanity. Definitely would say, like, it used to be the Mines was my hardest. Ooh, my hardest level to get through. Not anymore. The jungle is definitely the hardest. And of course, I mean, the temple you reach it so seldom that you don't really count it. But probably, overall difficulty, the temple will be the hardest. But I have, my sample size is so... Should I check that? Should I check that? Yeah, we're just going to go to flat out murder. Get blown up, you scumbag. I mean, this is the optimal store. But this teleporter is going to murder me. I can already tell you. The question is, how far can I get with this teleporter before I get murdered by it? Then again, there's also all these arrow traps that can end my life. Kind of disappointed about that little hop that happened after I teleported it. Here we go to just go down. Don't want to piss off the shopkeeper. Ah, I thought for sure I could maybe get away with a telefrag. And I told you guys that the teleporter would murder me. It's only a matter of how far you get before you throw yourself into the maws of the abyss. I think the policy should be... The policy should probably be, if there's a teleporter and a jetpack, just grab the jetpack and let it go, man. Because the teleporter will destroy that run. But if there's only... I don't know why I just did this. If there's only teleporter, then hell yeah, go for it. It's hilariously... hilarious. Hello. I'll take this. I'm glad that the shopkeeper didn't even get murdered. Forgiveness will be a possibility. Alright. I think we have touched... Are you a baker? Do you like baking? It always feels kind of weird. Like, this is all the chauvinist... The chauvinist inculcation of the male brain. I wouldn't say because of my upbringing, because my father was a baker. One of the many jobs that my father had before he settled onto the job that he kept for over 30 years. He was a baker, a confectioner. Let's put it that way. He would make pastries and stuff and sell them. He was just an employee, and he wasn't like self-employed or anything. He was an employee of a bakery. So it's not like it's in my head like, oh, only girls bake, you know. But it does feel a little weird to say that I bake a cake. It shouldn't. That definitely shouldn't. But it's, you know, that usual masculine culture. Which you can talk about. I mean, the problem with the entire PC culture, and here I go again. Here I go again. I can't help myself. It's that they're so preachy and obnoxious about it. Like, there's so many things I could agree with you about if you weren't so preachy and obnoxious about it. You know, if you weren't trying to just beat it into my head and tell me that I'm an idiot if I don't agree. That just makes me want to just completely dismiss everything you say. The entire philosophy. But it is true that men get taught to act and feel in a certain way, and if you don't conform to such a way, you're somehow something to be ashamed of and that kind of stuff. Like, men should feel 100% cool with being a stay-at-home dad. Men, you know, if the arrangement works, if it's not something that anybody's resentful about, why the hell not? Like, there shouldn't be no shame about that. There should be no shame even, like, you're shorter than your female partner. That's something that always weirds me out. But that's probably simply because I am a pretty tall dude. So I don't have any first-hand experience of it being a big deal. There's very few women that are actually taller than I am. But let me tell you, man, I find it terribly attractive for women to be tall. I also find attractive women that are small. So you're pretty. You're pretty. I ain't going to be making bones. I'm saying that I don't give a damn. I would certainly be willing to say that most men don't give a damn, as long as you are an agreeable person to spend time with. It's like, I don't know why people are so conscious about it, but it is pretty common. Whoa, dude. It's a terrible place to be. Let's maybe just bypass it. Should maybe kill that Yeti. I don't know why I just did that, because I just preventing myself from going to the exit. It's a commonplace thing, right? That women feel really self-conscious if they're taller than their partner. Men feel very self-conscious about being short. That kind of deal. It shouldn't be that way. It's a weird part of culture that's probably rooted in freaking Paleolithic, just the lizard brain of humanity, going back to there, where men needed to be strong and powerful to defend the tribe and all that stuff, you know? Well, women most of the time would just stay at the village and do the upkeep of the village. I want to get out of here, but I have a very hard time getting out of here, so please get me out of here. Look at this. Anubis, you are a scumbag. You have single-handedly ruined my speedrun. I mean, obviously I should have been able to work around him. Like, it's on me not having worked around him. Skeleton. This skeleton just dropped in my head. Completely out of nowhere. Anyway, I don't even have a point. I'm just running off my mouth. Man, some sweet dodging here. Of the arrows? Feeling pretty good about seeing that arrow ahead of time and not getting murdered by it. Just let me have my victims, okay? I can push my way to just come back. I was too busy putting down the bomb. 40 minutes already, huh? Too busy putting down the bomb. I was really trying to let it go. I saw the scorpion coming, but I didn't realize I just did not have time. And of course, that skeleton prevented me from having that health cushion. Pretty damn resentful about that bony piece of garbage. Go over here. Get the hell out. Get the hell out. What a hodgepodge. Hodgepodge, that's the word. Not hedgepodge. What a hodgepodge of different dumbass topics that I have no idea what I'm talking about. That is a deflection, by the way. Not a deflection, but defense mechanism. No, what's the word? Like when you say, in my opinion, now it's escaping me. Like you preface something to not own it. There's a word for it. Damn it! It's just, you preface something to not own it, and then later you make a disclaimer, so you can't be held liable for the opinions that you hold. Because I was like, oh, I was just shooting breeds. I was just, making the stuff up to fill up the dead air. Like, not really disowning what you're saying, but if you get challenged on it and it turns out that you're full of shit, you can simply just walk it back and backpedal. That's right, we did piss off shopkeepers. Somehow. I don't know what we did to piss off this guy. I already forgot the act of violence that I performed upon him, but he must have a reason to be mad, right? I really want to get away from such deflections, even though, I do make them kind of tongue-in-cheek. And not really with the conviction of, oh, this is just my opinion. Your opinion is just as valid. Nah, I don't feel that way. I think the things that I've said today, like I have mentioned before, I can be convinced otherwise. But the things that I've said today, I own them. They are my actual beliefs. And they're not, I will not be coaching them. I think that's what I was looking for. I will not be coaching them as, oh, this is just my opinion. Your opinion is, can be just as good, blah, blah. Yeah, sure, your opinion can be just as good if it has a basis in reality and you give me some actual good reasons to change my mind about the things that I've said. So there's this big tendency of leaving yourself open to disavowal. And in some way, there is some wisdom to it, thinking that, there's a way, there is a good possibility I might be wrong, so I'm just going to coach it that way. But you hear it being done far too much, and it becomes off-putting in the sense that people just don't really have convictions. They're wishy-washy, and they're not really, like, they're trying to cater to the audience as opposed to, staying true to themselves. I think I'm explaining myself in a somewhat coherent manner. Hey, Jedi right there. This is the last run, by the way. This is it. This is it. I ain't got nothing else in me. It was almost successful in one of them. Got to Olmec. Incredible, right? I'm going to even ignore Adam altogether. I don't give a damn. Should have been spit on my head as a result of that Cobra. It's too elite, Mr. Shotkeeper. I am freaking Neo. I just whoosh, lean back from that bullet, past me, right by my forehead. You cannot harm me. I got a zombie army. Thank you for making my life slightly easier. Mr. Cobra. No! I took full damage. I thought that I was good, but I jumped. I lied. It was not the last run. I cannot leave it like this. I can't leave it like this. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and make a really good one. This is going to be a good one. When I said it's the last run, I thought we would get to the jungle. I'm full of garbage. I am a liar and a thief. I don't deserve your patronage. I don't deserve your patronage. I am very disappointed about this entire 1-2. What a load of nonsense. There's no exit inside. It just doesn't exist, I don't think. You know what? Let's just restart. This has been dumb. This 1-2 was a whole disappointment. Nothing but disappointment. Just like my son. Here. It's very important to make jokes and don't even treat them like references. Just make a joke and just steal them wholesale. That is, I think, a staple of my comedy. Instead of making a reference and then making it clear that I'm making a reference and I'm not actually... I didn't actually come up with this joke. Just make it ambiguous enough and just make it clear that I just came up with this joke and I am not actually stealing from anywhere else. So that way, if you don't know the reference, it'll be like you think I totally came up with that joke. I'm just so damn smart and an excellent comedian. I think it's a very important way. I hate this. I hate this. I want it to be abolished. This seat should be illegal. This seat should be illegal. What is this nonsense? Well, at least we reached the freaking new Jedi, huh? Only took 30 freaking seconds. I don't even know what hit me. Oh, it was the chest, wasn't it? I exploded the thing, and the chest stunned me. My very own instrument of getting to the freaking hell, which we have not seen in the longest time. In a hell speedrun. The very thing that allowed me to do it, or rather that facilitated it, by telling me where the black market might have been. You got nothing of interest. Through the exit we go. What's the thing that was my demise? Anyway, don't be weak. Own your words. Have integrity. That's important, man. In this age of fake news and people saying falsehoods all the time and people not owning their opinions, walking them back, apologizing for nothing, integrity has become more important than ever. And I'm not going to say that I am a bastion of virtue. I'm not going to say that like my convictions are freaking engraved in gold. Ooh, what you got, friendo? I like seeing. Oh boy, this is going to be a last run for the ages. Last run for the ages. This teleport is not going to bring my demise. All I'm saying, just have. Just try to be consistent, okay? Just try to be consistent and try to be open-minded. That's all that you really can aspire to. In this age of... Like, there's so much information out there. There's so many things that you can be wrong about that it weirds me out when people are 100% confident in what they say and they admit no contest. It's bizarre. I know I just got done saying have convictions and hold on to them. But it's different. It's different from like being wishy-washy and letting evidence change your mind is two different things. I don't really have a point anymore. Just being foolish. Okay, I've put myself in terrible situations here before. Really want to piss off this guy. There you go. That bomb was really obnoxious. It was just the position that I had. I don't need to have a strong conclusion. I was trying to get into you know, arrive at a what? Man, 50 minutes. I'm addicted, okay? I am addicted. I must continue restarting this game. Alright. Spelunky is telling me you're done. Oh, I wanted to end in a strong narrative, but instead I just petered out. So let's just leave that right here, impaled up the rectum. Hopefully you had a good time. I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you think about all the things that I've said in the comments, unless you disagree with me. If you disagree with me, don't even bother, man. Don't talk to me, bitch. Talk to the hand.